October 24th, 2025. Kentucky defeats #1 Purdue 78-65. In the box score, a freshman leads all scorers. Jasper Johnson, 15 points on 6 of 10 shooting. But beside him on the sideline, dressed in sweats and a sling, sits Jalan Lowe, the veteran point guard who never touched the floor, yet somehow still earned his coach's praise as probably my second player of the game. This is the story of two guards. One, a freshman phenom built to score and burst. The other, a transfer with the calm precision of experience. And the question at the heart of Mark Pope's new Kentucky, can a team built on pace, space, and motion thrive on raw scoring? Or does it require a floor general to steer the chaos? The 2025-26 Wildcats stand at the intersection of talent and structure, and the answer may determine the future of Pope's Kentucky era. Jasper Johnson arrived in Lexington with a reputation built on firepower. A 6'4" left-hander from overtime elite, he carved defenses apart in the AAU circuit, averaging nearly 20 points per game at Peach Jam. Against Purdue, that scoring instinct surfaced again. 3 triples, drives through contact, and a rhythm that made Kentucky's transition offense hum. Johnson's tools are undeniable. A 6'8" wingspan gives him separation on the perimeter. His ability to relocate and create shots from distance makes him an ideal weapon in Pope's 5-out spacing. Yet the numbers behind the talent reveal the learning curve that defines him. In Nike EYBL play, Johnson averaged 3.8 turnovers to just 3.4 assists. His three-point percentage, barely 28% on 8 attempts per game, pointed to the volatility of a scorer, still learning to balance freedom with efficiency. Even he admitted as much. I'm playing a lot of older guys. Maybe in high school, I could beat a double team or something. I'm just trying to get stronger. Scouting reports noted flashes of inconsistency, moments where decision-making lagged behind talent, possessions where isolation replaced movement. In a motion offense built on reads and rhythm, that instinct could either ignite Kentucky's scoring or disrupt its structure. Johnson is, in essence, the spark. But as Mark Pope knows, sparks can light a fire or burn out too fast. If Johnson is the flame, Jalan Low is the compass. At Pittsburgh, Lowe built his resume not through flash, but through command. Over 2 seasons, he averaged 4.3 assists per game, ranking among the top 40 playmakers in Division I. More importantly, his assist-to-turnover ratio, 1.9-1, reflected precision, not improvisation. Lowe's defining performance came early in his sophomore season, a triple-double against VMI, only the 6th in Pitt history. 10 assists, 10 rebounds, 11 points, each a snapshot of how he controlled tempo and dictated spacing. When Pope evaluated the transfer portal, that skill set stood out. A veteran capable of orchestrating the system he envisioned, 5-out motion predicated on trust and timing. At Pitt, Lowe averaged 16.8 points and 5.5 assists as a sophomore. He shot over 40% from deep and ranked among the top 15 guards nationally in ball screen scoring efficiency. Those are not highlight numbers. They are control metric. And in a Kentucky lineup filled with 5-star wings and stretch forwards, that steadiness is exactly what defines leadership within motion basketball. In Pope's own words, pace, space, and extra pass. Lowe embodies all 3. When Kentucky upset Purdue in October, the stat sheet told one story, but Pope's comments told another. Without Lowe on the floor, Kentucky leaned on Jasper Johnson, Denzel Aberdeen, and Colin Chandler to initiate offense. They combined for 9 of the team's 17 assists. Yet Pope's post-game reflection turned toward the sideline. Jalan Low was unbelievable on the bench. He'd probably be my second player of the game. That statement spoke volumes. In a 15-point win over the nation's top team, Pope valued communication as much as execution. Lowe's voice, his ability to guide teammates through adjustments, even while injured, mirrored the characteristics Pope historically prizes in a point guard. Meanwhile, Johnson's shot chart painted the other half of the equation. Nearly 90% of Kentucky's attempts came from either beyond the arc or at the rim. Exactly the statistical shape Pope's analytics first philosophy demands, Johnson fit the geometry perfect. But without a veteran orchestrator like Lowe, the offense's sustainability over a season remains untested. This exhibition became less about a single game and more about a preview of Kentucky's evolving identity, a battle between system and spontaneity. Mark Pope did not inherit Kentucky in the mold of his predecessor. He rebuilt it from the ground up, prioritizing experience, depth, and adaptability. His inaugural roster features 7 super seniors, an intentional departure from the one-and-done culture that defined the program for over a decade. When he landed Jalan Lowe from Pittsburgh, it was not by accident. It was a statement that Kentucky's modern identity would rely on seasoned guards who could navigate complexity, not just raw talent. But Pope's blueprint also allowed for flexibility. He openly acknowledged 4 other potential point guards behind Lowe: Aberdeen, Johnson, Chandler, and Ortega-Over. Depth was not just insurance, it was strategy. The Purdue win, achieved without Lowe or starting center Jaden Quaintance, validated that philosophy. Pope's offense could survive on interchangeable guards and wing play, at least for now. Yet his track record at BYU suggested a clear pattern. When the season tightens, veterans take the reins. The message was implicit. Johnson could earn minutes, even spotlight moments, but to control Kentucky's offense, he must evolve from scorer to decision maker, a shift defined not by highlights, but by ratios. Numbers don't always define a player's worth, but they often reveal a coach's. Johnson's turnover rate in EYBL, nearly 4 per game, remains his greatest obstacle. Until that number improves, Pope's data-driven system will likely favor experience over potential. Lowe's 1.9 ratio, by contrast, represents the reliability that sustains an offense through February's grind in the SEC. Yet the conversation isn't adversarial. Pope's comments and Kentucky's depth charts reveal coexistence, not competition. A system that thrives when Johnson's creativity complements Lowe's structure. The explosive score beside the steady hand, the tempo balanced by control. If the Wildcats reach their ceiling, it won't be because one won the job over the other, but because each defined the other's limits. In Lexington, the point guard position has always meant more than distribution. It symbolizes control, of pace, of pressure, of identity. For Jasper Johnson, that control must come through growth. His journey from volume scorer to disciplined creator will determine whether his flashes of brilliance can sustain through the SEC gauntlet. For Jalan Low, it's the continuation of a career built on steadiness, one that transforms Kentucky's chaotic energy into organized execution. Together, they represent the spectrum of modern college basketball: youth and experience, freedom and system, pace and precision. Mark Pope's Kentucky now stands as a laboratory of both, a program no longer chasing one-year stars, but constructing multi-layered depth, and at its center, 2 guards learning to share control of the same court, each shaping the rhythm of a new era in Wildcat basketball.